Ezekiel
Saw the wheel
way
up in the middle of the year. Ezekiel saw the wheel
way in the middle of the year.
Oh, the big wheel run by faith, and the little wheel run by the grace of God. The wheel in the wheel, way up in the middle
You
of
know
the
who
year.
I want to be? I want to be Vernon Landon.
Oh yeah?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we can go. Can you make it?
Yeah, man, I could make it.
Okay, give me a hand.
All right, come on. Come on, Agnes, up. Hey, Pastor Lawrence,
Yeah.
if you were not a pastor, what would you be? I'll tell you what I think.
Let's
you'd
talk
be.
about it. Let's talk about it.
I feel like you might be incarcerated.
Where's that?
Anywhere, incarcerated.
I've never been incarcerated before, so I've never incarcerated.
No, I know that you think-
Could I be outcarcerated? You
No,
know?
I feel no.
Oh, you mean like in jail, like?
Yeah,
Oh, that's what incarcerated means?
because only gangsters wear these kind of hats.
Gangster. Well, you know something? I've been to jail many times.
No, I don't mean like leaving under your own will. I mean like there.
I've left on my own free will. Nobody's ever kept
So
me.
what would you want it to be if you were not a pastor?
Well, you know, honestly speaking,
Yeah.
my first wish in life was to be a medical doctor. I want to be a surgeon.
Medical.
Yeah, I want to be a surgeon.
Really?
When I read all about David Livingstone travel here and going there and Africa and so on, I said, I'd like to be a surgeon, not just a doctor, a surgeon.
Any particular?
Well, I at that time I just thought about being a surgeon, opening up people and fixing them back because I thought it was a good idea. But that dream was there until I went to high school. But when my father died, it changed
What changed?
my dream to be a doctor.
Really?
Well, what it was that, you know, my careers guidance guy said,
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to leave school. I'm
Yeah.
going to work. My mother is,
Yeah.
6 of us. He said, no, don't leave school. Don't. Why don't you become a nurse then? And then work from there upwards.
Yeah.
Well, back in those days, 60s, mid 60s, late, I never thought about a male nurse. And afterwards, I thought it should have been. But all of my life, I've always had an interest in medicine or medical. I've worked in hospitals countless times during my whole year, all the time. Nursing home, hospital, you name it. Emergency, this, porter, this and all that. Because I have that kind of,
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing. But that was the other thing that I thought I could be was a soccer player.
A soccer player.
Yeah, because I love soccer.
But I've seen you run.
No, it's not running now. I'm talking about when I was younger.
No. I'm saying like how you run now.
Oh,
You don't have the form.
Listen.
Like I've seen your knees
Are you
rubbing
sure I
together.
have the form now? I'm sure.
No, look, you can knock me off if you want
Okay,
to.
okay.
But I've seen whenever your knees kind of clang
But
together, there's
that's now,
sparks.
You know, at 73 years of age, you got to
People-
be different, right?
How old are you again?
73.
Well, that's all we have time for, folks. 73 already.
On Tuesday.
Oh, nice. Hey, you know what that means?
Yeah,
I'm taking you out for Szechuan soul food, tofu.
Yeah,
Szechuan
but
tofu.
listen, the thing is this.
Yeah.
What do you want to be? What would you have been if you were in a pastor?
Honestly?
I know what you have been.
All right, tell me.
Yeah, you were going to be a disc jockey.
Yeah, man.
Ah, yeah!
I'm still gonna be that now.
Let me hear it.
Hey, you don't know prom.
Ring it! Run the rhythm, Steve. Run the rhythm. Come on, let's
This
see
is
it.
why he wouldn't be the mic man
Run the
on
rhythm.
the track.
Run the
No,
rhythm.
you know what, Pastor Lawrence?
Yeah.
I always wanted to. And that's one of the things on my bucket list. I'm going to, some way and somehow, I'm going to make an album. It may not be me as the artist all the way through, but I want to work with some gifted people.
Here I am.
No, not GIF people. GIF.
Oh, Jif. Okay.
GIF is like a spread that you put on bread. No
Yeah,
GIF.
Jif. Yes, peanut butter.
All right. So, can you just work with me here?
Okay, work with you.
I want to make an album that will just last. You know, like how sorry, I almost said Michael Jackson, but I'm looking for somebody religious.
He's religious too.
Yeah.
He was.
No, but you know, like
Elvis Presley was
There-
religious.
sure he was
Yeah.
in his own
Yeah.
dark way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So.
Bob Marley was religious.
All right, now you're talking.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people who create music that shifts the world. That's the kind of music that I would like to
So
create.
you'd have to be a reggae star.
Yeah, man, I want to do
Like
reggae.
the prophet, like Bob.
Like Bob Marley.
One love, hey! One heart, hey! Let's stay together, feel alright. Yeah.
No, mind you fall over the
Okay,
edge.
okay.
Remember, you only have your permanent residency, so if you fall,
Well, no,
they
somebody,
have to take care of you.
somebody
at
let
home.
me up, man. Somebody let me up.
But you know what? Let
Yeah.
me tell you though, some of the dreams that we often have when we are Christians, the pressure of the culture of the church squashes
Crushes
some
it,
of those
crushes it, yeah.
desires.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I would have been like 14, 13, I bought my first ever keyboard.
Wow.
And in my room, you know, like a lot of young men were producing, making beats, and we thought, you know, we would be the. But then here comes the church, and it's almost like there's no space for dreams that don't fit
Yeah.
the status quo. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the problems I
Yeah.
think that we have, because even today there are young men. I see these days you can do a lot of things as a religious artist.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can make stuff, but then back then, people, even to get a keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
So they frowned on those things, which stifled your progress.
And you know, it's even true, if I could say so, in ministry. Because a lot of times we find, I mean, we're both pastors. A lot of times young pastors come into the ministry, and it's almost like because the culture says it has to be pastoral, it has to be chaplaincy, it has to be teaching, then ministers or young people, whether male or female, they come in and they have some different kinds of gifts. And it's almost like they're forced to choose
Yeah, what is-
between this or that. But I still think that you could be a pastor and do something else, and it doesn't diminish
No,
what you're doing as far as pastoral ministry.
Because I think when the Bible talks about being all things to all people, we
Yeah.
have to look at that.
Yeah.
On that, because you know we could be. You know, you've seen some religious comedians.
Yeah, funny,
I'm gonna
funny.
be one. I'm gonna be one of those. I'm gonna
All right, try one joke there.
Let me tell you one joke. How long did Cain hate his brother? You don't know that. For as long as he was able. Hey, let me ask another question. How do you know that Job spoke at an early age?
How do you know?
Because the Bible says he cursed the day he was born. You can go, yo! Music in my soul! Rhythm! Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
yes.
almost will stay.
Think it's cool breeze. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Enough.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah. Okay, mine
Wait
you
till
hurt
at least
today
the
because I know
sun
your leg
sets.
hurts.
Yeah, the left
So,
knee.
but you see, the thing about this is that one always has to have more than one thing you can do.
Yeah.
I think so. You got to be multifaceted.
And we have to create a culture that has more than just the structure of the church
Yes,
in mind.
yes, yes.
You know, like when I think about it, there are some people who don't mind talking about God, but because of what they've heard about the church, they may not necessarily initially come into the building. So if you don't create a space that is safe for them to have a necessary conversation, then what about those that don't come into the pews?
You see, I learned that lesson
Yeah.
when I was a college student.
Yeah.
We had a class in fine arts. You
Yeah.
had to study about Gothic and Doric and Botticelli and Michelangelo. And I told my teacher,
Squidly wah wah wah.
I said, why do I have to learn that? I'm going to be a pastor. I don't
Yeah,
need to do all the
yeah.
fine. She said, Errol, you will need it.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, while I was waiting to be employed, I got a job in the summer unloading trucks. A guy who was working with me unloading trucks as his summer job
Yeah.
had just finished his 4-year degree in fine arts.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
The only thing we could talk about that made sense, because he wasn't Christian.
That's
But I
right.
could talk to him about Michelangelo,
Yeah,
I could talk about Doric, and I could talk about Gothic, and I could talk about all the wonderful things of fine art.
Yeah.
See, I learned that lesson. That you don't put things down because, I'm going to be a pastor.
Yeah, yeah.
See, and so a pastor has to be very broad,
Yes,
deep,
yes.
high,
Yes.
so you can meet the needs of all kinds of people.
And I'm glad that you said that, because here's the thing. I really do believe that God uses what we know to place us where He wants us to be. Right? He's not going to put you in a room where you have nothing to say about anything. I mean, even when I think about the Apostle Paul when he was at Mars, right? And he was
Mars,
talking about
yeah.
the
Unknown God.
unknown God. Well, in order for him to be able to engage the people, he had to know
Yeah.
enough about their view of God
That's right. That's
in
right.
order to talk about their God.
And you know, that's why my famous phrase,
Yeah.
best sermon that I ever preached is the
Yeah.
one about the man out of whom Jesus cast the demons. And it said he was sitting at the feet of Jesus. He was clothed in his right mind.
Yeah.
I like the way the text says in the Message version,
Yeah.
he was making sense.
That's right.
And one of the problems that
Yeah.
we have today is that church doesn't make sense to some people.
To some people,
Yeah. So we've got to make it make sense.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to find a way of doing that. And the more
yeah.
broad, deep, wide the
Yeah.
pastor is, she
Yeah.
or he can reach the people.
So let me ask you this one question.
Yeah.
I'm now almost at the peak of my years of ministry.
Okay.
You have done a lot of years of ministry. Let me ask
You're
you.
trying to say I'm declining now?
No, I said you've
okay,
done a
all
lot.
right.
Yeah, well,
I just want to know because I have a fist here that could punch you. Okay.
didn't we talk
Yes.
about the fist?
Oh, okay.
You see that block?
Oh,
Hey!
no.
Hey!
You see?
Oh,
You see how people give trouble in this bit? Okay.
sorry about that. You're going up again. Come on, Agnes. Stretch up. All right, there we go.
So
let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
If you could do it again, now that you know what you know, is there one thing you would have changed a little bit in your approach to pastoral ministry?
Yeah. You know, one of the things I think that even
Yeah.
now I'd like to see happen
Yeah.
is that pastors should be taught how to be more business oriented in ministry.
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, one of the things that we've been doing, and I don't think we're going to do it again after COVID, is
Yeah.
building churches. Right? And so you have a situation where I get into a building thing. I don't know anything about building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I don't know anything about even reading the map, you know, the plan and
Yeah,
so on.
yeah, yeah.
So business is one of those things you could get to pastor
Yeah.
to do. And then I also think the whole idea of learning how to deal more with people.
The soft skills they call it.
all those soft skills,
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Because some of us are rough enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
up on the rough side of the mountain.
That's right.
And we bring it into ministry.
That's
And you
right.
better do this or else.
Yeah.
All right. So we gotta learn.
And it's funny you say that, because having worked in business
yes.
before becoming a pastor,
Okay.
there are some skill sets that I was able to bring.
Right.
My father, having been in construction, there are some skills that I've been able to use in my ministry because of being in close proximity to some of those things that we take for granted. I mean, you could preach a great sermon, but if you can't balance the books, you're in trouble because to some degree, even though we don't like to talk about it,
Yeah.
the church is a business.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
a
we
business.
write checks.
That's right. That's right. It's a big business, and we have to get that in our heads. Otherwise, we're not
Yeah.
running what we're running. It's not
Yeah.
good. But your father is he's the punch, because those hands were carpenters.
You see how big his fists are?
But you
That's
know,
why I'm so well behaved.
But I have a friend, who's retired now. He was in the church board one time, and he's trying to exert his authority. The deacon made a point. He says, "You're a deacon, and you're only a carpenter." And the deacon said, "But my master Jesus was a carpenter."
Whenever
said-
in doubt, just call the bluff on
He
Jesus.
said, he said,
Yeah.
from that day he shut up, man.
Yeah.
Because you got to skills. Those skills are needed, And so, but I think pastors.
Yeah.
I love being pastors. I said I would not give it up for any reason, but I would want to see how I could diversify. You can put some more skills you could use in that. And so, if I were to do it all over again, I would want to see how we could become a more balanced pastor.
Yeah.
All around, so that you can deal with. Because in this modern age,
Yeah.
anybody who's becoming a pastor,
Yeah.
look how the technology you have to know.
You have to.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can't log into your email, nobody is going to bring a file to you like first time.
Yeah,
People
I
will
know.
send an email and they're not reaching back to
No,
you.
no,
They
no.
assume
We sent email.
we sent the email.
Yeah.
Get it, Pastor. Do
That's
something.
right. So we have to learn those things. It's
But you
important.
know what? I think that there's a thing that goes beyond pastoral ministry. Because I mean, even though we're pastors, I think this principle is still true out there. We have to encourage the next generation, even though they will not all be pastors. We have to encourage them to have a multi-dimensional approach to life.
The life, yes.
Right? And of course, I don't think that we've done so well in showing people how what they do connects to their ministry. Right? So people assume that because you're a pastor, soul winning.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
look,
right.
you could be an architect, a business person,
And a soul winner.
still be doing
Soul
soul
winner,
winning.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you
that's
think
right.
about somebody that builds somebody's house that they have to live into. If you make sure that house is built well,
Yeah.
and now here you come talking to them about the Lord that gave you the design to their dream home, you don't think that it would be
Yeah,
easier
yeah,
to
much-
get them to come to know who Jesus is?
Yeah, and the other thing I want to
Yeah.
add to this too is that
Yeah.
women or men who are joining ministry should not join as a last resort.
Oh yeah.
You see, because some people look at it as, oh, it's an easy way out. No,
This is hard work,
if
man.
if there is something
Yeah.
that you could do
Yeah.
more than you do ministry, do that thing.
Do that.
Yeah,
Because you
If-
can't do this if you're
yeah,
not called.
no.
I mean,
So-
you could do it,
Yeah, but you're not.
but
gonna,
you're gonna create a lot of
Yeah.
havoc in
Yeah,
the process.
yeah. You know, I had a guy one time come to
Yeah.
me and said he was doing a what is he doing now? Teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I wasn't doing well in the teaching, so I decided to switch to religion. My words to him was, "This department does not accept rejects." Straight up, because you can't just say, "I'm not doing well, then let me come here." What is this? Is this something that you can just take a low class?
Yeah.
So people need to learn to make ministry the best they can.
This is
be.
a high calling.
It is a
and if you're gonna come,
high
come
calling.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anybody out there watching, listening to us, need to know that when you come into this thing called ministry, it's a lifetime sacrifice.
I mean, Pastor Lawrence, in the last 3 weeks,
yeah.
how many funerals have you been to?
Well, I had 3 this week.
All right, so 3.
Yeah, 3
right?
this week. 1 week, yeah, and I had 1 last week, so that's 4 in 2 weeks.
I'm up to 6 funerals in 3
You
weeks.
see what I mean?
So you can't do this thing
Yeah.
without God.
No,
And
you
you can't do this because something else didn't work. But again, I think where we have to do more work as clergy, as pastors, is we have to be able to show people that pastoral ministry is not the only area of ministry.
ministry, correct,
And by
correct,
doing so, here's the
correct.
thing that will challenge us. And I hope that these guys are going to talk to us in the chat room, as they reflect. That's why we have to honor the varying gifts
That
that
God-
God,
yeah.
has given to all of us.
Yes, because the Bible is right.
Yeah.
A man's gifts makes room
Makes
for him.
room for him.
Yeah. And everybody out there listening to us need to know that you have these gifts, God is going to place you somewhere.
Yeah.
It might not be being a pastor,
Yeah.
but you can be a minister.
That's still meaningful.
Yeah, you still do meaningful ministry, which is
Yeah.
very important for all of us. And for the women, for the men, same thing. And by the way, I have a soft spot in my heart for the women in ministry. Because I think we need a lot more.
right, face the camera then.
We need a lot more
I'll play the-
serious-minded women in ministry. And the church needs to accept the fact that
Can you lower your
women
voice
in
while I'm playing the
ministry-
violin? Go ahead, keep.
Women in ministry will make a big difference in
Yeah.
the life of the church in this
Absolutely.
21st century.
Yeah,
I believe that
absolutely.
very much.
And they have all the way through history.
Yes,
There have
yes.
been times where God.
And I big up those women in ministry,
Yeah.
including my own daughter, of course.
Yes,
Yes.
big up
Yeah,
Michaela.
big up Michaela. Yes, big her up.
Man, she's
Yeah.
doing a big thing down there in
Yes,
Georgia, right?
Yes, that's where she is. So I'm glad. But I think we need to encourage our young men, though,
Yeah.
who are thinking about ministry,
Yeah.
to think about it not for the money, because
Yeah.
believe
There's
me,
no-
it's not the money.
there's no money.
But it's the ministry that you do that is going to impact generations to come.
Yeah. And that's when you know you have real impact.
Oh yeah. So
That's all we're talking about.
That's all we're
today.
talking about today.
That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Peace. Until next time.
Out.